Hello little dreamers and grown-ups too. This is your cozy corner of calm, a soft little bedtime campfire to gather round every night. Tonight's stories are for anyone who's had a big day. Tonight on Benny and the Bedtime Clouds, a song that shimmers like rain, a blanket woven from starlight, a cave where dreams softly float, and a melody whispered by moonbeams. These stories were originally created for a little boy named Arthur, the storyteller's son, as part of a quiet, magical bedtime ritual. Now they're shared with families everywhere who want a moment of calm and wonder before sleep. Every story is told by a real person, not AI, because bedtime should feel human and personal and full of heart. If you enjoy these gentle stories, please consider tapping like and subscribe. It really helps this little channel grow, and we'll be right here every night. And to the amazing Little Dreamer Club, our subscribers, thank you. We're so glad to see you back again. Ready? Great. But before we start, let's do our sleepy breaths. Smell the strawberries. Blow the dandelions. There, that's better. Now we're ready for the stories. Benny and the Glass Armonica of the Mist. One summer evening, Ron the Cloud drifted gently through a soft band of mist, carrying Benny and Pip high above a quiet valley. The fog below shimmered like spun glass, and from its center rose the sound of something magical, a song that shimmered like rain on crystal. Pip's tiny ears perked up. "Do you hear that, Benny?" she whispered, her wings catching the silver light. Benny nodded, eyes wide with wonder. They followed the sound down into the mist, where a strange and beautiful sight awaited them. In the heart of the valley stood a glass harmonica, a tower of glowing crystal bowls that spun in silence, played by the soft swirling of the fog. Each bowl chimed a perfect note, and together they sang a lullaby made of light and feeling. Benny tiptoed across the dew-soft moss, with Pip gliding close behind. Ron hovered above, humming quietly in harmony. The air felt cool and clean, and the mist curled gently around them like it was listening too. The colours of the music danced through the fog, soft pinks, sleepy blues, a bit of golden hush. The melody settled around Benny like a warm summer blanket. He sat down on the moss and leaned into Ron's fluffy side, while Pip curled up beneath his chin, her moon dust floating like sugar in the air. As the last notes of the harmonica faded into the valley, the mist settled. Benny let out a long breath. The world had slowed to a gentle hush, and everything felt right. The end. Benny and the Moth who weaves starlight. Ron floated low over a silver-dusted grove, his cloud fluff glowing softly in the moonlight. Benny lay across his back, eyes wide with wonder, while Pip fluttered just ahead, her tiny wings trailing moondust like glitter in the dark. They'd come in search of stillness and found something even gentler. Beneath them, a quiet shimmer moved among the shadows. It was Ruth the hedgehog, her little paws busy at a willow branch loom. She was weaving with something extraordinary. Long threads of fallen starlight gathered carefully from the moss. Each glowed faintly, like a memory of light. Pip floated closer. "What are you making, Ruth?" Ruth smiled without stopping her weaving. "Blankets for the newest dreamers. Little ones born tonight who need somewhere soft to keep their first dreams." The loom gave a gentle hum as she worked. Each pass of her paw added another layer of hush. Benny watched, heart slowing, as silver and lavender threads twirled together. The scent of moonflowers drifted through the air, and time seemed to slow like a sleepy yawn. Ron lowered himself into the grove, letting Benny step off onto the warm grass. Pip landed beside Ruth, curling up in a curled leaf bowl. Benny lay on his side, watching the loom shimmer. As Ruth tied off the final thread, she placed the starlight blanket on a stone to cool. The forest was quiet, the stars above pulsing gently in thanks. Benny smiled and closed his eyes. Somewhere out there, tiny animals were dreaming safe and sound, and he would be too. The end. Benny and the Garden of Floating Spores. Ron hovered just above a misty waterfall, its veil thin as gossamer. Benny held Pip close as they drifted behind the silvery cascade and into the cave beyond. But this was no ordinary cave. The air shimmered with a soft inner light, as if the cave itself was breathing calm. Floating all around them were thousands of tiny spores, glowing, weightless and silent. They drifted like slow stars in a sleepy galaxy, spinning in lazy spirals and quiet loops. Pip gave a delighted gasp. They looked like dreams. The spores shimmered around Benny's fur, clinging for a moment before gently lifting away, leaving behind a warm tingling, like a memory of laughter. Ron nestled near the cave's roof, casting a faint blue light down from above. The spores danced in his gentle currents, forming swirls and spirals and sleepy shapes that looked like wishes half remembered. Benny found a low bank of moss, glowing a soft greenish gold. He curled up there. Pip snuggled beneath his paw, her wings folding neatly around her. The spores above floated on and on, as if time had grown drowsy and forgotten to move. A deep hum echoed faintly from the stone walls. Not loud, just enough to settle into their hearts like a lullaby. Benny breathed out slowly. The cave, the spores, the silence. It was all part of some kind of hush the world kept tucked away, waiting for someone quiet enough to find it. The end. Benny and the reed Kalimba. Ron floated low over a sleepy river, his mist trailing like ribbon across the water. Benny sat on his back. Pip nestled just beneath his chin. both of them listening to something faint and beautiful, a melody that moved like a whisper. They followed the sound downstream, where a wide lily pad drifted in a moonlit pool. Atop it rested a kalimba, carved from river reeds and polished by time. Its silver keys glistened with dew, but no paws or wings were playing it. Instead, moonbeams, thin as threads, fell one by one onto the keys. Each beam struck a note so soft and round it barely touched the air. Yet together they sang something quiet and ancient, the kind of lullaby a river might hum to itself when no one's watching. Benny and Pip stepped down onto the mossy bank. Pip's wings gave a drowsy flicker, scattering a puff of moon dust across the reeds. Benny lay down, tucking his head beneath Ron's gentle curl. Pip curled close beside him, her tiny ears flicking with each note. The kalimba played on, every sound like a drop into still water. The melody wrapped around them, not loud, but certain, like it had always been playing, just waiting to be heard. And as the river sighed and the stars leaned in, Benny closed his eyes. The music carried him like a leaf floating downstream towards dream. The end. Good night, little dreamers.